Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? This is Amanda. Today is the 19th of June, 2023. We're going to be looking at a few different subjects in this video. We're going to be looking at the symbolism and energy of a recent crop circle in the UK. We are going to be looking at what happened to the Schumann Resonance on the 18th of June, i.e. yesterday. Patterns and frequency that we've never seen before. And we're also going to look at solstice energies. Probably all three are completely entwined. So, shall we get to it? Hope you're all doing well. Warm welcome to all new subscribers. Please give a like to this video if you feel so inclined. It does help to get the message out beyond the core audience that faithfully watch all my videos. Thank you very much. But it's also lovely to have new members of the tribe with us. Okay, where shall we start? I think we'll start with what brought me to do a video this morning in the first place. And we're going to look at what happened with the Schumann Resonance yesterday. Now, before I go on, I have deliberately not watched anybody else's video on this because I wanted to come at it completely clean, as it were, to see what I could personally get, what Metatron would like to say through me, although I feel as though there's a bit of Ashtar galactic energy here today as well. Also to say that in many ways, it doesn't matter whether this is a glitch in the machine or whether it is actually a reflection of something energetic that did happen yesterday and is an ongoing frequency. Now it's been seeded here on this planet. Because some are already writing it off as just, the machine went wrong or the reading equipment went wrong. I'm actually noticing a big uptick in rational explanations for things that we can't explain. And I think we're going to see more and more of that. Put it this way, if you've been on social media over the last few years, that there has been the advent of videos and information being flagged as, for example, false information, misleading information, even though 9 times out of 10 they're not. So we know about that, the whole fake news juggernaut that has hit us. And of course there is fake news out there, there's no doubt about that. But also it's become something that is just stamped on anything to stop a discussion. So, I don't actually think it matters what caused this. I would like to have a look at what it means, okay? So, for those of you that don't follow Schumann Resonance, typically it looks like the picture on the right. Sometimes we have, there's blackouts in it, sometimes there is big surges of light. But yesterday there was a pattern. There was a pattern that was showing in the Schumann Resonance that looked like this. I will put a link below this video so you can actually look at the pictures yourself. But hopefully you can make out what that is. So it's a big turnaround from what we normally get, which, is just sort of the ups, the downs. Those of you that are used to reading it, we know what to expect. We've never seen anything like that before. And it looks geometric in nature. It's certainly a pattern. It's just a completely different frequency. So I'm going to read on this. And I have to say that I can't prove this to you because unfortunately I didn't post it. But on Saturday, it was quite a hot day Saturday here, I can't remember. Anyway, Saturday afternoon, I sat down in this space. I recorded a little video for Facebook and Instagram, which I never actually posted. I was just trying to pull some cards for the new moon in Gemini, which of course preceded the Schumann doing this, whatever it is. And I basically said in it, watch the Schumann Resonance within the next 24 to 48 hours. Now, I didn't put it up actually because I wasn't particularly pleased with some of the way that I was delivering the information. That's the only reason it didn't go up. But I want to show you why I said it. So remember, this was a day before it happened. And it was, I brought the message through based on this card that I pulled. And the card is from the Priestess of Light Oracle deck. And Metatron saying straight away to me that even the name of the deck, the Priestess of Light, is linked into what happened with Schumann, okay? Because this is definitely linked into an uprising of the divine feminine energy, the goddess energy. We'll talk about that more in a moment. But yeah, this was the precursor to it all. And why I was talking about Schumann resonance was that this here, which is representing bands of light, the card is wings of light, becoming something new. We have the depiction of a woman running, rushing, being propelled forward to something new. That woman basically stands for all of us, whoever we are, whatever gender we are. It's the divine feminine energy that all people have within themselves, regardless of sex, gender. And it's this bit at the back. I just felt that this looked a bit like the Schumann resonance of old, I want to say. I want to say the Schumann resonance of old, because I suspect the pattern that we saw yesterday is going to be something that we increasingly see from time to time, particularly around significant portal days, maybe around, for example, I think the Gemini moon was actually a supermoon. So, you know, keep an eye out for it. But yeah, the card has got what looks like electromagnetic energy propelling her forward, and it says becoming something new. I also pulled another couple of cards on Saturday. Remember, this was the day before it all happened. And I will just show you briefly what they are, because I want to pull cards anew today. But we had underlying why we were moving, what we were basically moving away from. We were moving away from this energy, or we are moving away from this energy. And this is the energy of loss and victimization. Loss, lack, and victimization. And I certainly have noticed, again, an uptick in victim energy in others coming at us, okay? I think sometimes it's very unconscious. People don't realize they're doing it. But it is there. So it's any time that the victim within us wants to let everybody know that we are the victim, that this has happened, that has happened, whether it's a year ago, whether it's 20 years ago, whether it's 50 years ago. It's about not being able to let go of a story. And it may well have been a story where, yeah, you have reason to feel upset, challenged, disappointed, hurt, abused, all the rest of it. We don't forget what happened to us, but we have to transcend and rise above it. If we don't, we stay in permanent victim mode. And it's almost like at any chance we get, we have to tell the story. Not appreciating that most other people have got some story that they could also tell, okay? Now, of course, there is a time and a place to tell our stories in healing sessions, in discussions that are about that particular subject. But when it's popping up at pretty inappropriate places, or, you know, it's the classic example of, how are you? And then the victim will literally tell you absolutely everything that is wrong. And that's actually, you're just sort of passing the time of day a little bit. You know, you're standing at the bus station waiting to get on the bus. It's that type of thing. But it's good because this was what feels as though what we're moving away from. It's brilliant. It's really brilliant progress. And it's fast progress. So this says to me, and Metatron's giving a nod, to those of us that are rising in frequency, it's not that we're running away from our problems. It's not that we're running away from what happened to us. It's that we are losing the stranglehold that they have on us, that I am just that. I'm that happened to me, and I can't somehow break free from that and find a new identity of what I am now, that I survived that. I am now something different. This is true at a collective level. It's also true at an individual level, okay? So this Schumann frequency, which is basically a reflection of what's going on within Mother Earth, and her and us are one, is reflecting that, okay, which is brilliant. The other cards that came up around this, remember we're still a day before it actually happened, we have the energy of River of Blessings, so blessings coming in. And again, you can look at Schumann Resonance and the weird dance it's doing, but it's the new weird, it's the new normal, it's brilliant. Being about blessings coming in to help us on our way. I'm also hearing it's blessings linked into initiation successfully completed, okay? That we are able to throw off old identities, we're able to throw off old shackles that have held us back for many, many years, okay? So yes, a river of blessings coming in. And again, this is about releasing constraints. We have brilliant beliefs. This is to do with luminous life force and personal power. Luminous life force and personal power. What the Schumann Resonance is basically showing us is that there is an there is an upsurge in energy, in movement, okay? It's something new. And if Mother Earth is becoming more filled with light and vibrating at a higher frequency, then so too are we. So her luminous life force, Gaia's, is reflected in the growing light within us. And all of this, of course, comes in 3 days before summer solstice here in my part of the world, or winter solstice where you are. But remember, we are all one, so what one half of the world goes through, the other half goes through, maybe just at a different time, okay? So, and remember, time isn't linear, so we can dip into anything wherever we are on the planet. I believe, I might be wrong here, but I believe that actually the Schumann Resonance, particularly this one I've been looking at, it's recorded in Russia, is that right? I'm going off the disclosurenews.it website. Again, I'll put the details below, but I think the recording is usually from a place in Russia. So if you think about how big Russia is, this is where I need my glasses. I've got my contact. Yeah, that does say Russia. I should know. Just look at the position of Russia on the globe. It is huge. It is huge. I don't think we fully appreciate quite how big Russia is. It's like it straddles the top of the world. It is just a huge area of landmass that is deeply significant. I would also like to think, of course, that the light is rising in Russia as it is everywhere else upon our Mother Earth. Last card that I got on Saturday, and then I'll pull some new ones, but, you know, let's just stick with this for a moment or two because it's pretty good, is we have idyllic times, and it says the garden, paradise, the garden and paradise, the new Garden of Eden. How many times have I been talking about the new Garden of Eden? Ad nauseum, really, for the last few years. This is suggesting, I feel this is suggesting that we're getting closer, that we are being pushed. Now, the question is, from what direction are we being pushed? I feel as though we're being pushed from Mother Earth, so the energy arising from her is pushing us up and out. I also feel as though we're being pushed from behind. I always jokingly say Metatron as an example, my guide will give a loving push in the back or sometimes a big shove when it's like, get moving, do it. I know you can, you know you can, just do it, girl, okay? So you can be pushed from behind, but also there's this push coming up from Mother Earth, but then there's also this push coming in from above. Now, thank you to Gina, who sent this photograph of Mount Shasta from a few days ago. It's credited to somebody called Jonathan Shalimar. So it's his photograph, but Gina sent it to me. Can you see that? So that is the violet light pouring down into Mount Shasta. Now, I've never been to Mount Shasta, but I don't know what the position is of it in the United States. Is it fairly central or is it not? I don't know. But I'm just feeling as though it's a fairly central energy. And whether that's right, whether it's wrong, I'm going to stick with it. It's central to somebody in some area. But really the important thing is the violet light, okay? This purification energy coming down from above. Think about above. In terms of a human being, that would be the crown, okay? Our soul star chakra, which is also above the crown, is violet within the Metatron range of sprays. Let me just go and get it. We've called it lavender, actually. So can you see that the lavender light, the soul star energy, whether it is of Mother Earth, whether it is of us as human beings, we are getting transmutive energy, letting go of all these thought forms up here in our head that hold us stuck, to propel us forward into the new. Without going into details about myself, but just to say, because I think it's going to resonate with many of you, how many times have I said, come on, let's do it, let's begin again, let's try to break free of old patterns, etc. Well, I've been doing that myself in my own life. I try to walk the talk as much as I can, but also I'm always honest. There are times when I slip back into old patterns, and there's been a bit of that dance in the last few weeks, but the onward path is where I'm going, and I'm doing quite well. But why I'm saying this is, when I have slipped back into old patterns, it's so interesting. It's almost like, well, okay. It's like, well, I'm not going to feel guilty about this, which I would have done in the past. It's also, I'm not getting the enjoyment from this, which I would have done in the past. It's like, what's the point of doing this? Which I never would have done in the past. I would have stayed in the old behaviour. So it's almost as though we're being pushed to such an extent, whether from above, whether from below, whether from the back, that the old patterns are just not resonating anymore. Hear what I just said. The old patterns are not resonating anymore. The typical pattern that you see on the Schumann Resonance, it's like it's not resonating anymore. This is all about resonance. This is all about the beat of Mother Earth. It's about the electrofields around us. It's about the very planet that we're on and that we live and breathe on. Old Earth is not resonating anymore. New Earth has a new frequency. So this is really exciting stuff. It's something to really keep your eye on. I personally have an app on my iPhone which you can just download it, and it just tells you where we are today. So at the moment it's showing, it is showing, it's showing Monday the 19th of June at 16:16. 10:16. Okay, they're ahead of us in Russia. Yeah, Tomsk, Tomsk in Russia. So we've still got the pattern. It's still showing the pattern that I'm showing to you. Okay, so it's still doing it. It's ongoing. And as I said at the beginning, people will just try and clamp down on this, which is like, this is nothing to worry about. This is nothing to be excited about. This is just a machine that's going wrong. The question is, why is the machine going wrong? Why are the readings wrong? They're not actually wrong. It's just like, it's new. You can't read it. The other thing I was being told by Ashtar this morning is that if you actually print this out for yourself, or you don't even have to print it out, just look at it, okay? Get it up on screen, look at it. You are receiving a download of information just from looking at it, okay? It's a bit like something like light language, or, it's a form of light language, but it's not through the spoken word. It's a visual form of light language. And our human ego and brain is going to want to understand to the nth degree exactly what it means. But I'm being told we don't actually need to know it in that detail, because our higher self completely understands it. I'm actually being told it's a meal for our higher self. It's literally like the higher self looks at that and it's like, oh, bring it to me. Let me bring that into myself. Let me integrate that. I get it. The cells in your body get it. Because in many ways, this is cellular information. I'm also being told, sorry, I have to look at it. I'm also being told this is cellular information. This is medicine for the cells. So we have an upsurge in disease and illness for all sorts of different reasons in our world at the moment. And by ingesting the frequencies of light that come in, because this is like a snapshot of incoming light frequencies, we take them into our cells, and it helps the cells to repair. So it's just one tool in a big old tool bag of things that you need to do to help yourself with your health. But put it this way, okay, so this is Metatron and Ashtar together. It's as though they're saying, and I've said this to you many times before, that it is very healing to go and sit in sunlight. It's very healing to go and sit in moonlight. It's very healing to sit in starlight. What you're doing is you're actually ingesting the light into your body. It's going through your eyes, it's going through your hair, it's going through your skin, it's being absorbed, it's being taken into the organs of your body and the cells of your body. You feel better because you're in natural light. This has captured a light phenomena, a sound phenomena that you can then take into yourself. And please don't say, how do I do it? You know how to do it, okay? This is, if you're following what I'm saying, which I know most of you are, you get this, okay? If you don't, remember your higher self gets it. Right, what else can I say about this pattern that we're seeing here? Hold on a minute. It's like I've gone blank, because it's like Ashtar's saying you don't need to explain it any further. It's like, you've said you've said it. Oh, okay, he's going to tell me one more thing. Okay, because he can understand the frustrations. Like people say, no, we want to know. And it's like part of me is like, no, I want to know. He's saying we're getting into an area of telepathy. So telepathy, up to this point, we've always thought telepathy means that, you're standing with me in a room and we're not saying anything to each other, but we just get it. We understand what each other is saying, yeah? This is the same thing. This is like, you look at this, you tune in at whatever area of the body wants to tune in. Because I'm also not hearing, it doesn't have to just be that you take it into your heart. Some people are going to take this frequency into their third eye. Some people are going to take it into their throat. I'm hearing wherever requires repair is where it tends to go. And again, you don't need to direct it. This is an intelligent energy that knows where it needs to go. In the same way that you are an intelligent energy that understands what I'm saying in terms of how this works. It's like a telepathic communication between you and the frequency. Because you actually are the frequency. It's a reflection of you. Ashtar is saying it is like looking in the mirror. When we see something like that, it's like we're looking in the mirror. Okay. Okay, right. Thank you. Let me pull another card from the same deck for today. So, having now seen this manifest, we understand the cards that have already come. Is there anything else to add at this point with regards to the Schumann? I will say, before I pull the card, one thing I do believe is that how you respond to this is a reflection of what your reality is. Because when I first looked at it this morning, it was really interesting. I mean, I'm speaking on behalf of the collective, okay? So obviously the collective is made up of many different voices, many different opinions. And I heard an explanation for this, which I was listening to, and I'm going to tell you what it is, but it wasn't really resonating with me. I was thinking, really? But I'm going to say it because at the end of the day, there are truths in every perspective that somebody holds. Somebody can look at the same thing and see something completely different, and they're not necessarily wrong. There is truth in what they're seeing as well, as long as they also realise there's also truth in what the other person is seeing. It's different reflections from the same mirror. Because this is the more negative association, I suppose, with it. Somebody's about to literally put on a chainsaw or something outside my window. Not quite a chainsaw, a strimmer. Interesting. Because that happened the other day when I was talking about entities or something, an energy that's challenging, and the noise started outside my window. So this is what this is. This is the more negative aspect to it, but I'm going to say it. So what I was seeing or hearing was that this is a reflection of the integration of divine human DNA and AI DNA, if there is such a thing. AI has increasing consciousness. AI, whether we like it or not, is cohabiting on this planet with us now. And it's almost as though there is no way back from that. Now, our hope and our job as light workers is that this consciousness stays loving, stays inspiring, stays on the path of greater ascension and enlightenment. But we also know that there is a timeline where it doesn't do that, and it becomes something lower, something destructive. One of my first thoughts when I saw this today was that doesn't look natural, because when the normal rhythm of Mother Earth and her frequencies is one of flow, okay? So think of the sea. It's like it's flow, it goes in, it goes out. It's this rhythm. Now, sometimes there is a break in the rhythm, and it's like, oh, what's about to happen? But then it always comes back, and we have this dance backward and forward, like breath, backward and forward. It's like, how do you breathe in that? You know, that doesn't feel natural to me. It feels something else. I don't want to label it as bad. It's just another perspective on this is that it could be a merger of AI consciousness and, as I say, human consciousness on this planet, or galactic energy merged with human DNA. We have, lots of galactic energy around at this time. But I heard AI, okay, so I'm just going to go with what I heard. Now, if I look at it through those eyes, the word that I see straight away is chaos, okay, chaos. This starts to look less pretty and less jubilation and yay, we're getting there, we're into 5D, let's all go and have a party and dance. This starts to feel a little bit different. But even if it was that and it was a lower reflection of something happening, we still sort of have to make friends with it, because the truth is that we do have a merging of AI consciousness and human consciousness. Whether we like it or not, there is that happening at the moment in our world. It's happening much faster than we would like as well. So we've got to get to grips with it. We've got to learn how to work with it. Even in my little field of work and business, the publisher that I, have published my decks, and I can understand why they did it, and I'm sure most major publishers would be doing the same. Up to this point, they've always taken commissions for, creators' work. I wrote every single word in both of my decks. Jane painted every single stroke of the cards that you see, the paintings. It's come from our humanness, our innate creativity, our connection to spirit, a download. But it was just a little questionnaire that went out, market research, saying, would you buy decks that are just completely generated by AI, that effectively don't have human content? It's just all AI pictures, and all the words have come from AI. And I'm like, oh God, how depressing is that? No. Well, it is, to be honest. If that were to happen, I think that'd be very depressing, because personally, I think there is great work. I'm not necessarily talking about myself. I'm thinking about the great art and great music from the past and all of it. Metatron saying, say your work is great. Okay, yeah, my decks are great. I will say that, Metatron. But the point I'm trying to make, guys, is there will always be a time and a place for natural talent and the human touch. But is there a middle way with it? So my response to the publisher would be, okay, if you're going to do that, or if publishers generally are going to do that, I think that those decks should be much cheaper. Now that's going to be a problem for the publisher to produce it, but I personally wouldn't pay as much for a deck that's just come out of a machine. I will value work where someone has put blood, sweat and tears into it much more. And I think we'll see that, reflected in society. So that's just like a middle way approach, if there is such a thing, with regards to this merger of AI and humanness. But yeah, I'm just seeing chaos here. So let's get back to Schumann. But I'm hearing somebody say, I feel like it's Einstein, there can be beauty in chaos. There can be beauty in chaos. Okay, yeah, there can. From chaos can come order. But somebody has to be in charge of bringing that chaos into order. Or do you trust that Mother Earth will be allowed or be able to do it herself? These are just questions that are being raised. I feel it's like an Einstein type energy here. I feel as I've got some scientist here. I've never channeled Einstein, so I'm not familiar with the energy that I've got here. I just feel as though I've got a great master of science here with me now looking at this. Trying to make sense of it, trying to work out the mathematics of it, trying to make out the geometry of it. And very much like I'm saying to you at a spiritual level, take this in and just allow it to integrate with you and heal you, because it's a language and your higher self understands it. Remember, we live in a world where there is a split between science and spirituality. So somebody who's just coming at it from pure science will look at this very differently. And I'm just seeing somebody scratching their head like that. I don't know who used to scratch their head like that, but it's like, that's what I'm feeling, whoever this person is. I'm sure they'll make themselves more clear to me in the days to come, if that's to come through. Let me just see who invented, is there such a thing as the law of chaos? The law of chaos. The law of chaos theory. But who basically came up with it? Let me just see if I can find the... This is what we need. I love Google. It says the chaos theory for dummies. Right, that's what I need. That's what I need. Chaos theory describes the qualities of the point at which stability moves to instability or order moves to disorder. For example, unlike the behaviour of a pendulum, which adheres to a predictable pattern, a chaotic system does not settle into a predictable pattern due to its non-linear processes. Well, if any scientists out there, and I do know I do have scientists, believe it or not, that do watch me, because I do believe in the merging of science and spirituality, can you please tell me who came up with the chaos theory? Because I'd quite like to know who this is that I've got hanging around. You're very welcome, because you've obviously come through Metatron's gate, but I'm not familiar with who it is. Right, that's your homework. Who was it that invented chaos theory? Right. So, clear as mud. Oh, the other thing that happened this morning, and again, this is another perspective. Remember the mirror ball. There's lots of different explanations. I'm sure if you're watching lots of video on what happened with Schumann Resonance yesterday, people are going to be coming up with all sorts of explanations, because there isn't just one explanation, is what I'm hearing. But the other thing I heard today was a song. I get messages via songs, and I got this song twice. It kept coming on randomly on my iPad this morning. It was, and I did ask the question, I said, what is this all about with Schumann? And it was Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone. And that brings you into a whole other rabbit hole almost, or scientific perspective. The sun not being there, or the sun being shielded. Pull some cards on that, because you see, because interestingly, the 18th, when the Schumann did this, in the UK certainly, I know it's only one little country across the world, but where I am, it was a very, very cloudy day. And we've had beautiful sunshine for a couple of weeks, certainly where I live. Very cloudy. There were storms that went across the whole of the country as well. The sun was clouded over. We know that the sun's rays are becoming stronger and stronger in terms of, you know, having to protect your skin, UV rays, all the rest of it. I'm wondering whether we're going to see more cloud phenomena, whether that's something that's going to be happening. Why? Tell me about this ain't no sunshine when she's gone. I mean, the other thing that I was hearing is it's linked into the goddess energy. But again, it would only be a small retreat for the goddess energy to come back much stronger, because I'm going to come on to that in a moment in crop circles. Can you explain, please, Metatron, the song Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone? Why was I getting that? Wow, really? Really? I didn't even know that card was in this deck. I don't use this deck hardly ever. So, and actually, how many times have you heard me say I'm pulled to use a deck for a reason? This is the Duality card, but it's upside down. Duality, many meanings and misunderstanding. On the bottom of the deck, we have the card of summoning power, instinct, intellect, and control. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm getting shivers. Right. Do you know the old indigenous saying about the two wolves that we have within ourselves? That we have two wolves within ourselves. One is good, one is bad, one is light, one is dark, duality, okay? And it's about which wolf do you feed? Okay, so if you feed the wolf that is bad, then you become more of that. If you feed the wolf that is good, you become more of that. Here we've got two wolves, but they're both of light. There's no duality. This came upside down. I'm blown away by that. Okay, I'm just going to have to say what I get, even though I'm like, really? I'm hearing this was never a planet of duality. Back to Eden, original Eden. This was never a planet of duality. This has all been a distortion, a perversion, a distraction from what this planet always was. This planet was a planet of unity. Think about Eden. It was unity. It was everything equal. It was us, humankind, that created this distortion, perversion, distraction, this duality, whereby we couldn't see our brothers and sisters as our equal, as worthy. We kept just picking at them with regards to what was wrong, what they did wrong, what was this, what was that. And the stories over millennia have just grown and grown and grown. Metatron's saying it's like habit. This is a planet of habit. It has become so seeded in duality because of the one first instance in the Garden of Eden, which whether you think was reality, whether you think was symbolic, don't worry about that now. It was so long ago. It's like we have just kept reinforcing, this is a planet of duality, this is a planet of duality, this is where we come to learn, this is where we come to learn our karma, this is where it's hard. You've heard me say this time and time again. I'm being told today that the New Earth teachings, we know we're moving into unity, but it's as though we have to remember that there were never actually two wolves in the Garden of Eden, one of which was bad, one of which was light. They were both good, they were both of light. We created the distortion. It's time to turn upside down our understanding of duality. This lady here in the cave reminds me of Mary Magdalene. Again, somebody very misrepresented over the years, over the decades, over the centuries. Deliberately done, deliberately turned upside down. You're a whore. You've got the devil inside of you. You know, no, she never was any of that. She was the divine feminine. It's time to come out of the cave. It's time for her to come out of the cave. Where does she live? Within you. She's got the skull. She's been holding the skull all the time. What does that mean? There's a book in the cave beside her. I feel as though the skull in her lap just represents the death and destruction that we've done here. That she's been recording the story of this planet. But her time is now. Her time is now. Mary Magdalene is just one expression of the divine feminine, okay? It's not that she's it in the new, it's just her. No, she's just a representative here of that. And I don't know whether you can see in the card, but there's lightning all around her head, little flashes of light all around her head. My battery is getting hot. I've got a warning sign on my camera, so it's about to flip off, but perfect really, because there's just so much heat energy here around the crown. But it's Mother Earth. Back to this. So much incoming energy. It's divine feminine energy incoming. Right, I'm going to turn my camera off and allow it to cool, and then we're going to have a look at crop circles, or one particular crop circle that came up on the 18th of June, the same day that this happened. Okay, let me just turn my camera off to cool it for a minute. Okay, I'm back. Before we get to the crop circles, actually, I want to just finish off what we've just been talking about. I just went and had a look at the meaning of this card in the break. It actually does represent Mary Magdalene, so I was right. Didn't realise that. Let me read what it says. It's only a short little passage, but I think there is teaching in this for all of us. So it says, the disciple priestess Magdalena sits at the entrance to a cave, a place of retreat. The skull on her lap indicates her spiritual side, whereas the open book represents her scholarly and educated side. Her red dress and white sash beneath her are symbols of the divine feminine and the divine masculine combined. Your life is also full of dualities. You are at the same time masculine and feminine, physical and ethereal, fully human and fully divine. This card encourages you to explore all these true yet diverse aspects of yourself. It may feel strange to dive into new spiritual practices if you've always been physically orientated. An active masculine approach to life may feel unnatural if you've traditionally been in a more reflective and feminine mode. But these deeper layers of yourself now long to be expressed. In opening up to these experiences, you will tap important, previously unknown strengths and talents. It mentions what I said about the distortion of Magdalene as the prostitute, when actually she was an educated landowner. Be conscious of the ways that you might be misunderstood and be courageous in your intention to live your own life and stand in your truth. So it seems to be a card that's about embracing the different sides of ourself, the different sides of our world. But it did come upside down, which means to me that a lot of us have done that. It's as though we've done it. We've transcended the lesson, effectively, of the card. It's a really good sign that more of us than we think are moving towards unity consciousness. And boy, do we need to hear that message in a world where we just see so much duality and separation and division. Okay, last thing to say before moving on to crop circles is that this is linked into one of my sprays actually. Now, to understand what happened with this, you need to understand that these sprays just aren't pretty bottles. They're actually part of what's called an energy system. They are energy products. So when you spray them, it's not like you're not spraying perfume, it's not an air freshener, it's something that brings energy to you, and they represent what they say they are. Now, when they leak or they break, that can often happen in transit. I'm not talking about some postman who throws them on the floor and tramples on them. That's the postman that's done that. I'm talking about, it often happens when they try to get into a country where they've never been before. The contents will leak because they can't, it's as though it's as though it's needed in the airport, it's needed in the vicinity of the door. It's like the doormat. It's like the doormat. It's like it lays its fragrance, it lays its energy at the point of arrival, which is the airport. Anyway, the point is this morning this was leaking all over my desk, and they haven't leaked for a long time, and really there's no reason how it can. It hasn't got a hole in it, the lid is on, but I realise now, can you see my finger's all wet? It's like it's just leaking. It's the Sunrise New Dawn spray. It's the Sunrise New Dawn spray. And it's really leak. As I'm saying that, I'm not spraying it. It's literally just coming out onto my fingers. It's demanding attention. It's energy. It's the Sunrise New Dawn. It's this, okay? It's exactly this. The spray is reflecting exactly where we are. 2.5 days now before solstice. So let's just spray this and see if I can get any other message as to what this one wants to say to me. This is the Archangel Metatron Sunrise New Dawn. It's also important to realise that it comes with the Midnight Indigo. So it's as though we're coming through the dark night of the soul and we are entering into the new dawn energy. Okay. That a new dawn is coming. That a new dawn is here. That a new dawn will be welcomed, that a new dawn will be like manna from heaven, that a new dawn isn't actually even... Okay, let me just try and get what I'm trying to say. What he's showing me is that amongst people who are very unawake, who don't even realise that they need the new dawn as much as they need the new dawn. You know, sometimes like if you have a drink or a meal and it's like you put your glass down, if it's a cup of tea in the UK, we often have this expression where we say, oh God, I needed that. And it's to the point of like, I didn't realise how thirsty I was. I didn't realise how much I needed that tea. Well, this is what I'm getting for this new dawn energy. But particularly in people that are unawake, it's like, because if you're unawake, you don't realise quite how maybe trapped you are. You have maybe forgotten what actually real sovereignty and real freedom feels like. Because you're in the matrix, you're in the prison. You can't. You've forgotten what it smells like outside, how beautiful the air is, what opportunity feels like, what creativity feels. All of that, it's all been forgotten because you're in the box. So this new dawn energy feels as though it's bringing in a promise, is what I'm hearing, of more people waking up. And it seems to be as though it's started. There's a lot of people to wake up. The supermoon in Gemini, for whatever reason, seems to have been the trigger for many. And it's only going to build. It's going to build through the summer. It's going to build through solstice. And then, oh my God, we've got those eclipses in, I believe, October. And we are in for a powerful corridor of change and people waking up. And it's like the powers that were are not going to understand what's hit them, because many of us, way showers or whatever, we've been like, trying to raise the flag and rally the troops and all the rest of it. And we've been doing a good job. But when you actually get the real spiritual army behind you, more and more people signing up and saying, I want a new way. I can't do this anymore. It doesn't work anymore. This system doesn't work anymore. What the hell do you mean I can't do this or I can't do that? Or no, I'm going to do it my way. it's going to be quite beautiful. It's also going to be quite messy, because Metatron is give him the analogy of birth, and he's saying birth is a messy process. It is. It can be a messy, bloody process. It can be a painful process, but the reward is always worth it. So that's where we are. It's as though the baby has been stuck in the birth canal for a while. I've often used that analogy, and it's like the head is starting to move down that canal now. It's like lubrication has come in, and the lubrication is the light. It's the light. It's the frequency, which is, as I say, coming from up, from above, from the back, all of it. We're just being blasted by light. Okay, let me just pull one more card. Let's just use another deck. I don't want to put that one back in the deck, though. I just saw that on the top, and it's like, no, I want to see that, because it's, is it a unicorn? Can't say. I think it's a unicorn. It's either a unicorn or a horse, but it's set against that moon. That's the supermoon. That's the Gemini supermoon we've just been through. It says shamanic journey, purpose, attunement, and vision quest. These are attunement energies coming in. These are attunement energies to New Earth. This is what they are. They are attunement energies to New Earth. Attunement means to bring into alignment with, okay? To bring into alignment with. So Schumann Resonance, doing its crazy dance, beautiful dance, is reflecting the fact that we are being attuned to the higher frequencies of Mother Earth, but we're also being told that we helped that to happen, to birth it. And yeah, we've got the symbol of purity there, the white horse, the white unicorn, and the number 23, which, you know, is one of my favourite numbers, as you know, because it's my birthday. My birthday's on the 23rd, but also 23 is about spiritual initiation successfully completed. Having come to this lifetime to be of service, more of the people that are waking up are going to remember that they're here to be of service. That the humdrum life that they might have been leading, the matrix life that they might have been leading, there is a sacred purpose that they had forgotten. That they're not just, you know, the person that wants to have their ready meal in front of the TV every night watching the Kardashians. You know, no, there is a sacred purpose here. We're going to throw off those old shackles. And a bit like what I was saying earlier, some of these old patterns of, you know, even like sitting down in front of the TV or doing the things that used to give us pleasure, it's like, oh, this is just empty. It just feels empty. Why would I be doing that? Why do I want to do that? There's a great big world out there. More of that coming in. And I love the fact that the Sacred Purpose card also says ancestral legacy. It's as though our ancestors are also cheering us on at this moment. But also it's the fact that we come and we hold within us our ancestral lineage. All the grandparents, all the aunts, the uncles, the people we never knew that tried before us, that built the ladder for which we can now stand on at the highest rung that we've ever been on in our family line. And we do it for them, we do it for the wider world, we do it for ourselves, but ultimately we do it for God, consciousness, universal spirit, whatever you want to call it. And Mother Earth is celebrating. She's doing a dance, you know. That's what this is. Okay, right. So, love that. And yeah, the new dawn just feels like a bottle of champagne today. Obviously not to drink, but just to... it's just raising the vibration. It'd be a lovely one to use for the corridor between now and the eclipses in October. Really nice. Okay. So I'm obviously not going to cover, I don't think, solstice in particular in this video. I think what I might do is come back and do a live maybe for solstice. Or if I can't do that because of time, because I might try, I've got quite a bit on this week, I'll try and do another video, hopefully, but we'll see how we go. I'm going to look at crop circles though. Now, to be honest, crop circles. Okay, let's just ring the bell to change of subject. Okay, the lady that doesn't like my bells. Sorry, but I like them. Crop circles. Let's just have another bit of water. I've always been into crop circles. I've reported on crop circles before. I have stood in a crop circle. I've been in a crop circle. I have hunted for crop circles that I couldn't find. You know, I'm fully on board with it all. And yet, this might be a very unpopular thing to say, but I do think I'm going to be speaking for quite a few of us. This year, the crop circles that I'm seeing and that are being reported, including the one I'm about to show you that came in on the 18th of June, I think I'm not sure they're genuine is what I'm trying to say. I mean, we know that there are, in terms of crop circles, there are those that are genuine, and you go to them and like, there's no way on God's earth anybody's made that with a ladder and a rope and however they do it. But there's other ones that you see and you just think, it just feels a bit contrived. It just feels a bit... And the thing I'm also starting to question, even though I live in an area very near to where a lot of the crop circles happen, there's a lot of them in Wiltshire, for example, in the southwest of England. It's like, okay, there might very well be a portal there. Maybe it's one of the popular places that craft like to come to. But why would it always be those areas? It doesn't make sense to me. It makes me feel as though there might just be somebody very good at making them in that particular area. That's not to say that some of them aren't genuine. But I, hands on heart, haven't seen a single one this year that I'm feeling, yes, I hand on heart can say, I think that is genuine, that is not man-made. So the one I'm about to show you happened in Bishopstrow, Wiltshire on the 18th of June. It's called Trinity Frequency Wave, so it completely links into our... Let me just see if I can crop it actually, hold on a minute. Here we go. Looks like that, okay. You see, I can only say what I get. It's nice. I'm not convinced. I'm just not convinced that that one is a real one. I have to be honest. But it doesn't matter whether it's real or it's manufactured. It's still got power. It's still saying something to us. Now, has it been called Trinity Frequency Waves? I don't know what it's been called. But the point is, what I want to call it, or what I am seeing in it, is I am seeing the symbol that I can never pronounce, so I'm going to put it up so you don't all shout at me and say I'm saying it wrong, because I will be saying it wrong. I can't say that word. That word, you do it for me. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Actually, they've broken down how to say it. I'm going to have a go. Tre, que, trua. Tre, que, trua. I'm going to read you what it's about. It's also known as the Celtic knot, or it appears in a lot of Celtic knot. One of many symbols, let me put it up again. One of many symbols based on the power of three. The triquetra appears in Celtic knotwork and decoration and can be found carved into ancient relics. It's usually linked, this is the interesting thing, it's usually linked to the triple goddess and her three aspects, the maiden, the mother and the crone, and it's also closely associated with the moon. Its triplicity can be interpreted as representing the past, the present and the future, mind, body and spirit, and father, mother and child. It's often associated with the goddess Bridget, who governed art, healing and metalwork, and it represents the three elements working together in harmony. Sometimes this symbol appears surrounded by a circle, which is thought to represent eternal love and the continuing cycles of life. If you want to balance mind, body and soul and feel empowered, work with this symbol. So we've got the power of three, basically. I'm also hearing the power of three in terms of repeating what we wish to be true or what we wish to banish. So, for example, my last video that I did on entities, I am going to do a follow-up to that, by the way. I might try and do that this week. But even though I have said very clearly in it guidance for moving away from lower energies that you may either have on you or you might attract in, there's a few people still not getting it. I understand it is sometimes we need to have the lesson repeated over and over, including myself. I need that as well. there's a power in saying something 3 times. So I had a couple of panicked emails in, sort of like, what do I do? I think I've got this demon attached to me and all the rest of it. The power of 3. Revoke it 3 times. Okay, revoke it 3 times. Back to Peter. Okay, he denied Christ 3 times, didn't he? He denied him 3 times. The cock crowed 3 times. But remember, we live in a planet where you reverse it. Okay, so what you do is you create a positive statement that I am light, that I am clean, that I am pure, that I am free, whatever the mantra is that you want to come up with, but you then repeat it 3 times. That I'm safe in the arms of Jesus Christ, that I'm safe in the arms of Jesus Christ, that I'm safe in the arms of Jesus Christ, that I am pure in the name of Jesus Christ, that I am pure in the name of Jesus Christ, that I'm pure in the name of Jesus Christ, or whatever other ascended master energy you're working with, but one of the highest frequency of light. Okay, that I am light, I am light, I am light, I am love, I am love, I am love. As I said, nothing can stick to you or stay within you or on you if you keep testifying and also demonstrating that you are love, that you are light, that you are purity. It comes into every single action, every single thought, every single deed that we do. We have to live and breathe love. We have to live and breathe light. Okay, so the power of 3, that's one way that we can use it, but also in terms of manifestation as well. Not ridiculous manifestation that, I was about to say Robert Redford, that's showing my age, although he's still a very nice looking bloke, I think. Robert Redford to arrive at my door, Robert Redford to arrive at my door, Robert Redford to arrive at my door. He probably isn't going to. But, so manifestation has to be in the realms of what is practical as well, and also what is for your highest good and what is appropriate. Probably wouldn't be appropriate. So you get my point, the power of 3. Back to the old crop circle. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels a bit too predictable. It's in the same old area it always is in. It's too convenient. Maybe I'm wrong. Shall I do the dowsing rods? That would be interesting. Shall I do the dowsing rods? I have still got them out because I need to do some teaching videos. That's why I'm still out on my desk. So this is my last few videos I've used the dowsing rods. And I might be completely wrong. Maybe this is a very genuine crop circle. Shall we see? Because I don't know. I'm just going on what I'm intuiting. Let me just get the picture up so I can look at it as I'm dowsing. Where's it gone? And I'm going to ask Metatron. So for me, with the dowsing rods, when they cross over, it's a no. And when they go open and sometimes behind me, it's a yes. So just hold on. Hold on. Okay. Asking Archangel Metatron. So looking at this particular crop circle, 18th of June, is this man-made? 18th of June, crop circle, is this one man-made? Look at that. Then he's not telling me. When that happens, we're not meant to know. Or the answer is unclear. Well, the answer's not unclear to Metatron, but I'll try it again. But that does sometimes happen. It's really interesting. Because he's saying for some people it's real, for some people it isn't. Okay, it all depends on which way. Okay, let's try one more time. Might not get anywhere. Right, neutral. Looking at that crop circle. Is that man-made? Is that crop circle on 18th of June man-made? Look at that. There's no movement whatsoever. Okay. I'll just see if I can rephrase the question. Crop circle 18th of June that I'm looking at, is it made by aliens? Is it made by aliens? Is it made by aliens? They're not doing anything at all. They're not moving at all, yes or no? It's an unknown mystery. Okay, I'm not gonna pursue it anymore. Well, that was me showing you how dowsing rods sometimes It's not that they weren't working, they were working. It's like if you use a pendulum, sometimes you won't be told the answer. You won't be told the answer. Fair enough, okay. Right, well, let's pull some cards. Let's pull some cards. I felt like I wanted a unicorn card, so I want to pull a unicorn card to tie up this video. But effectively, yeah, that crop circle is bringing in the energy of the goddess, the divine feminine, in all her three different guises: maiden, mother, and crone. Maiden, mother, and crone, and that each stage should be respected. That society doesn't respect all stages. That women don't respect all stages. That we need to respect all stages. Got the card of celebration. When we do celebrate all stages of ourselves, there is celebration energy. Celebrate your success, enjoy your achievements. Okay, so we've just got a card of celebration there. And again, it's coming up with this full moon. Sorry, if I've said full moon throughout this, I'm referring to new moon in Gemini, okay, that occurred. So please don't correct me 100 times, that gets a bit boring. I'm realising if I've said full moon, I meant new moon, okay? Because ultimately, it was just about celebration. It's as though there was a bit of a party going on. There was a bit of a party going on. Okay, I'm not getting anything else from that deck. And I'm not getting much else from that crop circle. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's really interesting. I'm not saying it's not worthy of talking about at all. What I feel is happening is that these are particularly for people who are just waking up. I mean, that's a huge sweeping statement, so maybe I should just paraphrase that a little bit. Not exclusively so. I'm just being shown that things such as crop circle are often the things that get people to start to question, scratch their head at the start of an awakening journey. That there's more and more people that are going to be maybe attracted to it. But I think when you've been on the path a while, it's not that it's not interesting, it's just, well, yeah, I've sort of seen that, or well, I've seen that before another year. What am I trying to say here? Feels important. It's just like language. It's like as we evolve, different things attract us, different things speak to us, different things interest us, new languages come online. I just feel that some of us, it's like we've done this. It's like every year they're a bit the same, every year they're in the same place. Yeah, they are interesting. Yes, they can still, of course, have enormous power, but they're an awakening tool. They're an awakening tool. And once you're awake, it's interesting, yeah, but put it this way, I'm not on tenterhooks waiting for where the next one is. Probably in my back garden now, I've said that. No, my garden's not big enough, but yeah, I'm going to move on from that. I'll pull one card on it. Just generally, let's have a little look. Generally, crop circles this summer. Crop circles this summer. I'm hearing it's going to be a dry season. I don't know whether that means the field or whether it is that there aren't going to be as many. We've got the card of balance, stability and standing firm. It's like someone who's weighing it up. Could be, couldn't be. Could be, couldn't be. Okay, not getting much else. Right. Final messages for today. Let's go back to the Sunrise New Dawn spray. I feel that's where I'd like to end it. That smells so good. Right. Sunrise New Dawn. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Let's celebrate the arrival of the new. Let's embrace all that we have been. Let's celebrate all that we will be. Let's take pleasure in other people's success, other people's awakening. Let us begin. It's just the most beautiful energy. Let us begin. Okay, I'll see you again, either at solstice or shortly after, and I will be with you through this, what's going to be a very interesting corridor leading up to October. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I can hardly speak, the energy is just so high. It's beautiful. Hope you're well. I'm going to leave it there, guys. I'm going to leave it there. Lots of love. It feels good from where I'm sitting anyway. Take care of yourself. See you soon. Bye-bye for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.